The Silent Cry. The story opens in the Galactic Council chambers on the peaceful world of Prima. Ambassador Kel, a tall blue-skinned alien from the variant species, stands before the emergency assembly. His three eyes show deep worry as he speaks. About the growing threat, for months reports have been coming in from the Outer Rim worlds. Ships disappearing without a trace. Entire colonies going silent overnight. The enemy calls itself the Swarm, a race of insect-like creatures that consumes everything in their path. They strip planets bare and leave nothing but dead rocks behind. The council members shift nervously in their seats. These are beings from dozens of peaceful worlds who have known only trade and cooperation for centuries. War is something they read about in old history books. Their weapons are for hunting small animals or mining rocks, not fighting an enemy. That tears apart starships with their bare claws. Captain Rex, a reptilian from the desert world of Sandros, shows the latest intelligence reports. The swarm moves like a plague across space. They don't negotiate or communicate. They simply consume everything organic they find and move on to the next target. Their ships are grown rather than built, looking more like massive flying beetles. Than spacecraft. The math is simple and terrifying. At their current rate of expansion, the swarm will reach the core worlds within 2 years. The outer colonies have maybe 6 months before they're completely overrun. Every military simulation shows the same result: total defeat. Dr. Yam, the chief scientist from the crystal world of Lumina, presents their research on the enemy. The swarm creatures are each the size of a small shuttle. Their exoskeletons can deflect most energy weapons. They reproduce rapidly and seem to have no fear of death. They fight with a coordination that suggests a hive mind controlling millions. Of creatures across multiple star systems, the council chamber falls silent as the true scope of the threat becomes clear. These peaceful species have never faced anything like this. Their combined fleets might delay the swarm for a few weeks at most. They need something else, something they've never had to consider before. Old Counselor Vex from the forest world of Greenleaf speaks up with a trembling voice. He mentions the restricted files, the classified reports about the quarantine zone in the Far Spiral Arm. The place where the humans live. Most council members have only heard whispers about humanity. They know Earth is marked as a Class 12 death world, the highest danger rating possible. The few survey missions that approached human space returned with disturbing reports. Humans are the only known species that evolved through constant warfare. On a planet trying to kill them every day, Ambassador Kel accesses the restricted files with his emergency codes. The chamber falls silent as he reads aloud. Humans regularly survive in environments that would kill most species within minutes. They've been fighting continuous wars for their entire recorded history. Their entertainment consists of simulated combat and stories about violence. They form emotional bonds with their weapons and name them like pets. The most disturbing fact is that humans have been space capable for less than a century, yet they've already colonized dozens of worlds and built a military that could challenge the entire Galactic Council. Their first contact protocols assume every new species is a potential enemy. Captain Rex raises the obvious question. How do you ask help from creatures that might be more dangerous than the threat you're facing? The files contain warnings about human behavior. They show no mercy to enemies who threaten their young. They never surrender even when facing certain death. They've been known to destroy their own settlements rather than let enemies capture them. Dr. Yam points out that humans might be the only species with the right combination of aggression and technology to stop the swarm, but contacting them means revealing the location of every major world in the galaxy to creatures that might decide to conquer rather than protect. The debate continues for hours. Some council members argue for evacuation to distant galaxies. Others suggest trying to hide their civilizations until the swarm passes through. But deep down, everyone knows these are just ways to delay the inevitable. As the session ends, Ambassador Kel makes a decision that will change everything. He volunteers to lead a small diplomatic mission to human space. The journey will take 3 weeks through dangerous space lanes that haven't been traveled in decades. The final vote is close, but the council approves the mission. They give Kel emergency powers to negotiate on behalf of all member worlds. As he prepares to depart, everyone wonders if they're about to discover their salvation or invite an even worse fate. The stars themselves seem to hold their breath as the first official contact between humanity and the galaxy begins. First contact, Protocol Ambassador Kel's ship, the Peaceful Dawn, drops out of hyperspace at the edge of human territory. The small diplomatic vessel contains only 3 crew members: Kel himself, pilot Zahn from the ice world of Frostia, and communications expert Leah from the gas giant colonies. Within seconds of their arrival, human patrol ships surround them. The vessels are unlike anything in the Galactic Council's fleet. Where alien ships are smooth and curved, human ships are angular and covered in weapon ports. They look more like flying fortresses than exploration vessels. Dock Captain Mike Torres commands the lead human ship, the UES Ranger. His voice crackles through the communication system with barely contained suspicion. He demands to know why aliens have entered human space without permission. The translator struggles with human idioms and military terminology that has no equivalent in peaceful galactic languages. Kel tries to explain their peaceful mission, but the humans remain cautious. They've detected the swarm's expansion through their own long-range sensors. Unlike the Council species, humans have been preparing for this threat for months. Their response is typically human. They've already begun evacuating their outer colonies and setting up defensive positions. The humans escort the diplomatic ship to Luna Station, a massive military base orbiting Earth's moon. As they approach, Kel gets his first look at humanity's true nature. The station bristles with weapons designed to kill things that haven't been invented yet. Thousands of warships dock at its ports, each one built for maximum destruction. Admiral Sarah Chen meets the alien delegation in a sterile conference room. She's a small woman with gray hair and scars on her hands from years of military service. Her eyes hold the kind of hardness that comes from making life and death decisions every day. She listens to Kel's plea for help without showing any emotion. The Admiral explains humanity's situation with brutal honesty. They've been monitoring the swarm for 8 months. Human scouts have already engaged the enemy in 3 separate encounters. The results were sobering. The swarm is everything the Council fears and worse. But humans have advantages that peaceful species lack. Dr. James Wright, the head of xenobiology research, presents human intelligence on the swarm, unlike the Council's. Passive observations, humans have captured live specimens and dissected them. They've analyzed swarm technology and found weaknesses that more civilized species wouldn't think to look for. The swarm creatures are indeed formidable, but they have blind spots. Their hive mind struggles with unexpected tactics. They expect prey to flee, not fight back with coordinated aggression. Most importantly, they've never faced an enemy that enjoys combat as much as they do. Colonel Dave Martinez, commander of the Human Marine Corps, explains their military doctrine. Humans don't fight to survive. They fight to win. When faced with an enemy that shows no mercy, they respond with overwhelming force. They've already begun developing weapons specifically designed to kill swarm creatures. The aliens are shocked by human casualness about warfare. Admiral Chen discusses acceptable losses and casualty rates like she's planning a supply run. The humans have wargamed scenarios where entire colonies are sacrificed to buy time for larger operations. They speak of death with the same tone the Council uses to discuss trade agreements. Kel realizes that his people have made a terrible mistake. They assumed humans were simply more aggressive than other species. The truth is far more complex. Humans have weaponized their compassion. They fight not because they love violence, but because they love their families enough to do terrible things to protect them. The negotiations take an unexpected turn when Admiral Chun presents humanity's conditions. They'll help fight the swarm, but only if the Galactic Council agrees to full military cooperation. This means sharing technology, intelligence, and strategic control. The peaceful species must accept that saving their civilization requires becoming something they've never Ben Warriors.Pilot Zahn quietly asks about human losses in their previous encounters with the swarm. Colonel Martinez's answer chills the room. 3 human ships engaged a swarm patrol. 2 ships were destroyed, but they took 17 enemy vessels with them. The humans speak of this as a victory because the kill ratio was favorable. Dr. Wright shows footage from the battles. The alien delegation watches human soldiers fighting swarm creatures in hand-to-hand combat. Even when their weapons fail, humans use improvised tools and their bare hands. They show no fear, only determination to kill everything that threatens their species. The meeting ends with a grim understanding. The Galactic Council will get their military alliance, but the price is higher than they imagined. They must accept that their peaceful civilization is ending. The galaxy will belong to whoever survives. The coming war. As the diplomatic mission prepares to return with humanity's answer, Admiral Chen makes one final point. Humans have been preparing for this war their entire evolutionary history. The swarm picked the wrong galaxy to invade. Asterisk, the War Council, the Galactic Council chambers have never seen anything like this. Human military officers stand among the peaceful. Alien delegates, their presence changing the entire atmosphere of the room. General Tom Bradley, a massive man with arms covered in battle scars, reviews tactical displays that show the swarm's latest advances. In the 3 weeks since first contact, the situation has grown worse. 12 more worlds have gone silent. The swarm has adapted their tactics, using captured alien technology to improve their ships. But the humans have been busy too. Their fleets are already moving into position along the outer rim. Admiral Chin addresses the mixed assembly with uncomfortable truths. The old way the galaxy operated is finished. Trade routes, diplomatic protocols, and peaceful negotiations mean nothing against an enemy that only understands violence. Every species must choose between extinction and transformation. Ambassador. Kel listens as humans explain their war plan with terrifying efficiency. They've divided the galaxy into defensive sectors, each one designed to channel the swarm into kill zones. The outer colonies will be evacuated or fortified based on strategic value. Some worlds will be abandoned entirely to deny resources to. The enemy. The alien delegates struggle with concepts that humans take for granted. Colonel Martinez explains scorched earth tactics, destroying everything useful before retreating. Captain Torres describes acceptable casualty rates for different types of operations. These ideas horrify species that have never considered war as anything more than historical curiosity. Dr. Wright presents the results of human research on captured swarm specimens. The creatures are more dangerous than initial reports suggested. They can adapt to new environments within hours and modify their behavior based on enemy tactics. But humans have found their weakness. The swarm expects rational behavior from their prey. Commander Lisa Park, head of Human Special Operations, demonstrates what irrational behavior looks like. Her teams have developed tactics that violate every principle of civilized warfare. They use suicide attacks, psychological warfare, and weapons designed to cause maximum suffering rather than clean kills. The swarm's hive mind cannot predict responses that make no logical sense. The Council votes on humanity's proposed changes to galactic law. War crimes become legal when fighting for survival. Weapons of mass destruction are authorized for use against the swarm. Most disturbing of all, human military commanders gain authority over civilian populations in combat zones. Captain Rex from Sandros asks the question everyone is thinking. How do they know humans won't turn these powers against their allies once the war is over? Admiral Chen's answer is simple and chilling. They don't. But without these changes, there won't be anyone left to worry about post-war politics. The first joint military exercises begin in the Kepler system. Human instructors teach alien soldiers how to kill effectively. The results are mixed at best. Species that evolved on peaceful worlds struggle with the mindset needed for combat. Many alien recruits break down during training when they realize what they're being asked to become. Major Bob Harris runs the training program with typical human bluntness. He explains that warfare is not about being brave or noble. It's about making the enemy die for their cause while you live for yours. Every technique is designed to maximize killing efficiency while minimizing human losses. The cultural shock goes both directions. Humans struggle to understand alien concepts of honor and dignity in combat. When variant soldiers refuse to shoot retreating enemies, human trainers have to explain that mercy is a luxury they can't afford against the swarm. Meanwhile, human engineering corps work with alien scientists to develop new weapons. The peaceful species have technology that humans find fascinating: energy shields, gravity manipulators, and matter transporters. Combined with human weapons doctrine, these tools become instruments of unprecedented destruction. Dr. Yem from Lumina helps design fusion torpedoes that can crack planet surfaces. The crystal being's mastery of energy manipulation, combined with human knowledge of explosive demolition, creates weapons that terrify even their creators. The collaboration produces tools of war that neither species could develop alone. Field. Reports arrive from the first joint operations against swarm scout fleets. The results exceed all expectations. Human-led task forces achieve kill ratios of 10 to 1 against enemy forces. But the cost in alien personnel is devastating. Species bred for peace cannot match human resilience in combat. The solution is as brutal as it is effective. Alien forces handle logistics, intelligence, and support roles while humans do the actual fighting. This division of labor maximizes each species' strengths, but it also makes clear who the real warriors are in this. Alliance. The Battle of Centauri. The Centauri system blazes with weapons fire as the largest space battle in galactic history unfolds. Admiral Chen commands the joint fleet from her flagship, the UES Defiance. Around her, holographic displays show the positions of over 3,000 ships engaged in desperate combat against the swarm. Invasion Force. The enemy arrives exactly as human intelligence predicted. Swarm bioships drop out of hyperspace in perfect formation, their insect-like hulls gleaming with organic armor. Each vessel pulses with living energy, growing new weapons and repair systems even as the battle begins. The hive mind controlling them operates with inhuman precision. Captain Torres leads the first wave of human destroyers against the swarm vanguard. His ship, the Ranger, cuts through enemy formations with surgical precision. Human pilots have trained for this moment their entire lives. They fly with aggressive tactics that would seem suicidal to any other species, but which maximize damage against an enemy that expects rational behavior. The alien support fleet performs exactly as planned. Variant energy shields protect human assault ships during their attack runs. Sandros mining lasers, repurposed as weapons, cut through swarm armor that deflects conventional energy beams. The peaceful species have learned to contribute to war in ways that match their capabilities, but the swarm adapts faster than anyone expected. Within hours of the battle's start, enemy bioships begin developing new defensive systems. Their organic hulls grow additional armor plating where human weapons hit most effectively. The hive mind learns from every attack and spreads that knowledge instantly across the entire fleet. Colonel Martinez leads the marine assault on captured swarm vessels. His troops fight through corridors that pulse with living tissue, facing creatures that stand 3 meters tall and kill with razor-sharp claws. The close-quarters combat is brutal beyond description. Every meter is paid for with human blood. The turning point comes when Dr. Wright activates humanity's secret weapon. Deep in the bowels of the Defiance, alien technology merged with human engineering creates something unprecedented. The Chaos Protocol broadcasts random electromagnetic patterns that disrupt the swarm's hive mind communication. For the first time in the battle, swarm ships began operating independently. Without their unified command structure, the creatures revert to individual hunting behavior. They attack the nearest targets rather than following coordinated strategies. The change is subtle, but human commanders notice immediately. General Bradley seizes the opportunity with typical human ruthlessness. He orders all reserves into battle while the enemy is confused. Human ships equipped with the new fusion torpedoes. punch through swarm formations, destroying bioships faster than they can regenerate their damage. The cost is enormous. Human casualties mount as ships sacrifice themselves to protect the larger fleet. The destroyer Courage rams a swarm capital ship, detonating her fusion reactor inside the enemy's hull. The cruiser Vengeance holds position against overwhelming odds, buying time for evacuation ships to escape with alien civilians. Asterisk. Humans truly are. They don't fight because they enjoy violence. They fight because they've learned that sometimes the only way to preserve what you love is to destroy what threatens it. Every human death in this battle is a choice made for the survival of species they barely know. Commander Park's special operations teams infiltrate the Swarm flagship, a massive bioship that serves as the local hive mind node. The mission is a one-way trip. Using experimental weapons that tear apart living tissue at the molecular level, they target the creature's brain centers that coordinate the fleet. The death of the flagship's controlling organism sends shockwaves through the entire swarm formation. Bioships begin attacking each other as confused individual minds struggle for dominance. The unified enemy fleet dissolves into chaotic individual hunters that human tactics can handle effectively. Captain Rex, commanding an alien support group, reports something unprecedented. Several damaged swarm ships are attempting to retreat rather than fight to the death. The hive mind's breakdown has given individual creatures something they've never had before: the fear of death. Admiral Chin orders an immediate pursuit. Human. Ships chase the fleeing swarm vessels across 3 star systems, destroying them before they can regroup or report back to the main invasion force. The message must be clear. Attacking this galaxy means death, not just resistance. The Battle of Centauri ends after 18 hours of continuous fighting. The human fleet has lost 30% of its ships, but the swarm invasion force is completely destroyed. More importantly, the joint fleet has captured intact bioships and living specimens for study as the smoke clears. General Bradley receives reports from across the galaxy. The Chaos Protocol has been transmitted to all human fleets. Every encounter with the swarm now includes this weapon that turns their greatest strength into a critical weakness. The war is far from over, but the dynamic has changed forever. The swarm is no longer an unstoppable force. They can be beaten, and humanity has shown the galaxy exactly how to do it. The new galaxy 2 years after the Battle of Centauri, the galaxy looks nothing like it did before the war. The swarm threat has been eliminated, their remaining forces hunted down and destroyed by joint human-alien task forces. But victory came with a price that changed everyone involved. Admiral Chen stands in the rebuilt council chambers on Prima, now serving as the first human representative to the Galactic government. The peaceful world bears scars from a swarm attack that was repelled 6 months ago. Burn marks on the crystal buildings remind everyone that the old era of pure peace is over forever. The new galactic defense force combines human military doctrine with alien technology in ways that would have seemed impossible before the war. Variant shield generators protect human assault ships. Sandros mining equipment has been permanently converted to military use. Even the crystal beings of Lumina now manufacture weapons alongside their traditional art that Ambassador Kell has taken on a new role as head of the War Crimes Tribunal, an institution that didn't exist in the old galaxy. The peaceful species struggle with concepts of military justice and acceptable losses in combat. Some actions taken during the war still haunt the survivors who participated in them. Captain Torres commands the new exploration fleet, tasked with finding any remaining swarm colonies in distant galaxies. His ships carry weapons designed to sterilize entire star systems if necessary. The old dream of peaceful first contact has been replaced by the understanding that the galaxy contains threats that must be eliminated. Without mercy. Dr. Wright presents his final report on swarm biology to the Council. The creatures were indeed a galactic plague, consuming everything in their path with no possibility of negotiation or coexistence. The war wasn't a conflict between civilizations. It was an extermination campaign where only one side could survive. The human military has been permanently integrated into galactic society. Marine training centers operate on a dozen worlds, teaching alien recruits the harsh realities of combat. The curriculum includes not just weapon handling, but the psychological conditioning needed to kill effectively when survival is at stake. General Bradley, now Supreme Commander of Galactic Defense, addresses the uncomfortable truth that everyone knows but few discuss openly. The peaceful species didn't just gain human protection, they gained human leadership. The galaxy's future will be shaped by the values and methods of Earth's children. The cultural changes run deeper than military organization. Alien entertainment now includes human concepts like competitive sports and action movies. Children on peaceful worlds play war games and study military history. The innocence that defined galactic civilization has been lost forever. Commander Park leads the new intelligence division, monitoring potential threats from beyond the galaxy. Her teams use methods that would have horrified the old council: interrogation, surveillance, and preemptive strikes against potential enemies. The galaxy has learned that sometimes violence prevents greater violence, but the changes aren't entirely negative. Human influence has brought new concepts of courage and sacrifice that inspire the peaceful species. Alien societies have discovered strength they didn't know they possessed. Veterans of the war, both human and alien, share bonds forged in combat that transcend species barriers. Captain Rex has become something unprecedented, a non-human military commander trained in human tactics. His mixed species unit operates with efficiency that rivals pure human forces. The galaxy has learned that the capacity for warfare, once awakened, doesn't depend on evolution on a death world. The economic transformation is as significant as the military one. Resources that once went to art and philosophy now fund weapons research and ship construction. The galaxy maintains a permanent war footing, ready for threats that may never come, but which no one dares to be unprepared for. Again, Doctor. Yem's research has taken a dark turn from pure science to weapons development. The crystal being's mastery of energy manipulation now serves military applications that push the boundaries of physics. Their beautiful light sculptures have been replaced by beam weapons that can crack planets. As the story concludes, Ambassador Kell reflects on what the galaxy has become. The swarm is gone, but their legacy lives on in every military base, every weapons factory, and every child who grows up knowing that peace must be defended with violence. The old galaxy died in the war, and what emerged from its ashes is something harder, stronger, and infinitely more dangerous. The final scene shows a new threat appearing at the galaxy's edge. Energy beings from another dimension who view organic life as a disease to be cured. But this time, the response is immediate and overwhelming. Human fleets deploy weapons that reality shift entire star systems. The peaceful species contribute technology that turns spacetime itself into a weapon. The message is clear to any future invaders. This galaxy belongs to creatures who have learned that the greatest act of love is the willingness to become monsters in defense of what they cherish. The humans didn't just save the galaxy from the swarm, they caught it to save itself from anything that might threaten it again. The stars themselves have become fortresses, and their guardians sleep with weapons in their hands. Asterisk.